All right, we're back. Tasty Crypto Show. I need to add a little bit more energy to that. Tasty Crypto Show. I'm Ryan Grace. With me today, Shelley Van. This is a double duty, I guess. Overtime, working a double shift here on the network. You were on Options Trading Concepts Live earlier today.
That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoy going on that show. Not that this isn't fun, but it's a good time.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Monday. Normally, I'm on there on Monday. You were on there this morning. A lot going on in crypto that we're going to talk about.
So much.
But before we do, Shelley, we got to shout out the chat here. And if you're not on YouTube streaming this, I don't know what you're doing. Get over to YouTube. You can pop out the chat. Type in something crazy. What's up, chat? We got John Dominguez in here. Lone Sophos. Big Deal Donuts. What's up? And yeah, I think that's about it for now. So we got 3 people in the chat, Shelley.
3 people. Come on, friends.
Right? Were you not promoting this earlier today?
Sorry, I didn't do my job.
The hell? All right, we have a question for the chat. I just finished eating some treats. Yeah, I do that. I want to know what everyone's favorite candy is, or treat, I guess. It doesn't have to be candy.
Okay.
It could be baked goods or some sort of sweet. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh, look at 4, 5. We've got.
Oh, hell yeah. We're growing by the second.
They were just quiet lurkers.
Yeah. How you been, by the way?
Me, I'm doing all right. I'm recovering from a very long crypto weekend.
Okay.
I was deep in the trenches. It was fun. It was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think this persists?
For my own sanity's sake, I hope not.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we're all human, right? We can't stay this intense for this long without like a breaking point.
Yeah, but we got, a new environment to participate within, I suppose. It's noticeable, I suppose. You go from, let's just call it for what it is. You didn't see much of Joe Biden. You're going to see Trump every second. We're going from one end of the spectrum to the other extreme.
Yeah.
And trading this during his prior term, it wasn't quite 24/7. But yeah, you had to be ready for a 5 a.m. tweet about tariffs on China that could send the S&P futures a lot lower at times, typically when the market wasn't open. Now, clearly Trump is fixated on crypto. We're going to talk about that quite a bit. 24/7 market. He's back on X. I think you're going to see more volatility. It will keep you on your toes. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. It's just somewhat exhausting.
Somewhat, yeah.
So let's...
some ice cream lovers.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a good treat.
That is a good treat.
Yeah. What's your favorite ice cream?
Ooh.
You like ice cream? Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had pistachio.
What?
No.
Oh my gosh. You got to get like a good, like Haagen-Dazs, like the small, good quality pint.
Okay.
Game changer.
To me, it seems like peanut ice cream,
No.
I like chocolate peanut butter cup, whatever, but peanut ice cream with little chunks of peanuts in it, it's not like that?
No.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
You got to. We need like a full report by Monday.
All right, fair enough. I'll have some pistachio ice cream this weekend. Shelley, let's just get into it. You said you were up all weekend. I'm assuming it's because of some of the volatility that we've seen in the market. We can cover performance here, though. You look at the screen, you're down. I've got Bitcoin down about $2,000, $1,782 right now, a little bit under 2%. Doesn't really feel like it's been moving very much, given how much it has moved over the past couple of days. So let's talk about it. You're in Trump. What's going on?
I'm not currently in
Okay.
Trump.
You made some money, though.
I did.
Beautiful.
Thankfully, very grateful. I earned every penny by staring at that chart. And some of the friends in chat were with me on this journey. Rustan, Dino,
Okay.
a few. I think Dr. Drip might be around, but my DGen friends are here. Thank you for your moral support always. Yeah, on Friday, we were just sitting around kind of spitballing on, like, what's the move? The inauguration's happening on Monday. What are we doing? And then that tweet goes out. And we were all trying to get in Trump at launch.
So you were already looking out for this. You're a real trader.
Kinda, sometimes. Because to be fair, I think it was Dino who was like, hey, you should pay attention. And I was like, do I have to? I'm so tired. I just want to tap out. But it was like, nope, sucked back in. And so I got in around $8, out at 13, back in at 16. And so it was just one of those nights where you were like, what are we doing? What's happening? There were moments where it was like, is this a scam? Is this real?
Oh, of course. I mean,
And
Trump launched a token on the Solana network. I think that's the first question a lot of people are asking, right?
Yeah.
Is it real?
is this real life? And we're watching it just go up and up and up. And how does one sleep
Yeah.
when you've got money in now and it's just, and then the little dip, your heart drops. Okay, I'm out. And then you're like, oh God, it's going back up. I'm back in.
So I'm trying to find a chart that'll give us enough data because you've recently had this token listed on some centralized exchanges. I know it's on Coinbase now. It's on Binance. Looks like there's some perps that you can trade as well. Just trying to get a price. Okay, here we go. This is going to give us a little bit of a sense of where we started at because you can see we traded all the way up to about $80 or so. Currently at 38. Started in the single digits. It was obviously lower than this. A lot of people have seen this. You see the reports of, okay, this guy put $1 million into it. Clearly, somebody knows something. They always do. And they turned it into 100 million, I guess, on paper. You see those kind of headlines. It's never true in terms of how it works, right? You have to sell it. And maybe you got out. But a lot of people are questioning, like, how do you even find out about this? And then we'll get into how to actually trade it. Again, it's now on centralized exchanges. But can you walk everybody through? I know you said you're kind of aware of maybe there's going to be something that pops off around the inauguration. But yeah, like how do people find out about these things?
I mean, in this case, I think it really was Twitter.
Okay. So still, that's the source.
Yeah. And
of truth.
And he tweeted it. So that was what really, because we were watching.
So this came initially from the official account.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if we were looking at things on Dex Tools and just sort of keeping our eye on what was moving. And there have been Trump tokens. This is the one thing about crypto that you have to be careful.
Yeah, you've had like the MAGA token. I've seen that there's a Trump token on Ethereum. That's not the same one that we're talking about here.
Correct. Like know the contract address, the specific, this is like GIPN off memory, if I think the last four. So if you're looking at a program like Dex Tools or where you can see the contract address, make sure it's the right one because the tickers are not unique always. So yeah, we just happened to jump in, see that it was happening, and lots of failed transactions trying to get in.
Okay.
So it was all very exciting. And I forgot the question already. That's what.
Well, just how do you find out about this
Yeah,
where it's not something that's promoted ahead of time? You didn't know that on this date at this time this token's going to drop. I believe that most of the people that were at the crypto ball ahead of the inauguration had no idea either. So all of these big players in the crypto industry, people maybe close to Trump, they're all there and no one has any clue. I'm assuming Trump knew that this was being launched. But it goes out, it hits the internet really. And I think when I was looking at it earlier today at the current price of about $38, $40 or so, the fully diluted value is about 40 billion. Whereas the current market cap is 8 billion. A lot of tokens are obviously locked up. Reports that Trump's organizations, these companies behind this, hold or own about 80% of the supply. So you need to be aware of that, but that is something that's known. And yeah, here we are. Do you think this is a good thing for crypto?
I can see both sides
Okay.
of that argument, with a lot of people are now playing. They're in the game. They're engaged. They're, the crypto curious maybe finally took that step to dive in and engage on chain for the first time. Awesome. So we've onboarded new people. that's always good, right? Except if this left such a bad taste in their mouth that they're like, that was awful, I lost all my money, or my transactions failed and I don't get it, it's a scam, it doesn't work. So it's one of those things. The other thing to consider too is these whales that came in and I was watching the transactions come through on DEX tools like obsessively, and huge money bags were moving through. $800,000 order come through, $300,000. Big money was moving through this thing. So if those were the people that made big, big bags, where are they putting those bags now? Did they just take that away from the crypto industry and now they're going to go buy a boat? Or are they now on chain thinking, oh, I'm going to reinvest this in other projects that have been building for years?
Right.
So I think we'll see.
Yeah, that's a good point, because quite often you just see in this space money sloshed around. Certainly with the ETFs, with Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum to some extent, there's new money that's coming into the space. But just given, and this was kind of my arguments against some people that thought that, oh, this is just going to be a scam and it's going to hurt the little guy. And it's like, okay, well, let's take a step back for a second. What you're talking about is a little guy that would have had to have been sophisticated enough, like yourself, not saying that you're a little guy, but would have been sophisticated enough to be able to, one, be on the lookout for this, but then also had a self-custody wallet. They had to connect to it, a centralized exchange with significant assets on chain, given what you're already talking about. People moving around $800,000 to buy the Trump token probably isn't their first rodeo, but that's what it took to get into this to start with. So that's my argument against that this is just a fraud and a scam. I don't at all think that's what it is. I think it's probably a surprise to everybody what happened, how quickly it happened. We know that Trump has released, I think it was like some NFTs, a variety of different NFTs, some sneakers. They're doing
Bibles.
Things in the crypto space.
It's all over the place.
World Liberty Financial. So this is definitely not the first time. I just think that the magnitude of it and the timing is what caught people off guard. I don't necessarily think it's a scam. It's no more of a scam than AMC or GME or any other company that, as they reached new highs, also came out and issued hundreds of millions of dollars in new shares. Mm-hmm. And people gobbled that up and told themselves that that was a good thing. And I can remember there was a point in time where the narrative on Twitter, and this would have been back around COVID, Hertz, if you recall, filed for bankruptcy. And that was like a positive thing for this. People thought that was a good thing for the stock. And so I don't think this is anything new. There never is. But again, definitely caught everybody off guard. I'm still kind of split as to whether it's a good thing or not for crypto. I think it is, long term, what we're seeing.
Well, and it was interesting for him to, and I say him, whoever's doing this, they used meme coin. This isn't, the Trump token. It is a meme coin. Culturally, that in itself is sort of significant. And have you gone to the website?
No, not yet. No.
It's very in your face. Like, this is for fun. Like, have fun is what he's saying. So for anybody that put money that they couldn't afford to lose in, that was a bad idea, if
absolutely. But that goes
to any memes.
Exactly.
We have that on our bag battles disclosures. Like, be prepared to lose it all. We're just being degens.
Fart coin.
Let's
jump over to the slides. I want to look at just the impact on adoption and talk about some of the other things that we saw on chain, just to, I guess, debrief in some case. But you put this together earlier for Options Trading Concepts Live. If you want to just walk us through, like, kind of what are some of the things that you saw, your experience when you were trading this? You're on the front lines, seeing $800,000 orders come through. You're up all night. Like, how are you thinking about this, and kind of what else did you notice here?
Well, what was interesting is Moonshot, the wallet that Trump used to launch this thing. You could pay with Apple Pay, so it wasn't
for the normies.
For the normies, exactly. It wasn't as native as other things that I've run into or, not been prepared for. Like, I don't have the correct wallet for whatever I want really badly, and it's selling so fast. So there's this like panic. This was like, oh, I'm prepared because I already have my wallets and I could access the exchanges. But for anybody that signed up with Moonshot, I don't know how quick or how.
Okay, so in that case, I guess you didn't necessarily have everything I said. I got to walk that back because you could have just come in and give me 100 Trump with my credit card here.
I think they have KYC that has to be set up. Okay. So depending on how.
But easy enough that you could do this. You didn't have to be super sophisticated.
Exactly. So that was an interesting pivot. If for the crypto natives that didn't have liquidity in their non-custodial wallet, getting your money into your wallet if you use Coinbase, well, there was a little hiccup there because Coinbase was not ready for the influx of all this traffic, and that's a screenshot from my phone with the transaction time it was going to take to move Solana over, or to move any funds on Solana.
Okay, so this wasn't congestion necessarily on the Solana network. This was just Coinbase processing these transactions.
Which was confirmed later, because at the time we were thinking, oh my gosh, Trump broke the blockchain.
Yeah.
Solana in this case. Later, Coinbase did say, like, that was us. We weren't prepared for this level internally. So they're now working on their own scaling solutions.
Well, that's wild. I mean, that speaks to how big this really is then. It's reminiscent of going back to the COVID period, the meme stocks, GameStop and Robinhood turning off the buy functionality because of settlement purposes. It just was too big.
Yeah.
A lot of people think there's some conspiracy there. Not really. You can build scalable systems, but sometimes they reach their limits.
Yeah.
And you have to fix them. And I think they get bigger and better over time.
I mean, we still have to expand highways and physically make more lanes on the road. That's just the way it happens. Well,
I think we were talking the other day, or maybe it was yesterday morning, and I can remember when 2FA, this is, back in 2015, 16, I don't know. It was, maybe it wasn't that long ago, 2017. Anyways, I can remember when I couldn't log into my Coinbase account for well over a month because 2FA wasn't working for me. So growing pains,
Growing pains.
It's all part of the process. I still think it's kind of like I've said, 1995, mid-90s. If you compare this to the internet, a lot of people have, in terms of where we are. So it'll get better. But this is not like the final state.
Right. Right.
So a lot of new users because Donald Trump has quite the following. Solana, if we jump over to the next slide here, you can see the network, in some ways, I suppose, benefited from this. I mean, the price of Solana just ripped higher. We got up to maybe 280 or so, if I recall correctly.
Close to that, if not.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we've dipped all the way back down to 228 and recovered back up to 262. So a lot of volatility around. But yeah, I tend to think that, because for a lot of people, right? You even talk to people around the office here. It's like, oh, I'm going to go launch my own token. Well, yeah, actually you can. Mm-hmm. That's what this technology allows for. This is a use case. Talked about meme tokens, or meme coins, on the show quite a bit. And there are, I think, hundreds of thousands, right? But there's only a few that people actually care about.
Sure.
And so, again, I don't think it's a scam, and I don't think you can look at this as like, oh, anybody can do this, and he's just going to rug people. That would be bizarre. I mean, again, like, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but it would be bizarre.
Yeah.
If that was like, the purpose of this token is to defraud people. Maybe. I just think, again, that this is quite unexpected. And, we've been in this space for a long time. We know that insane shit can happen. And it doesn't always stay there. So, yeah, it can go to 100 billion fully diluted and back to 10.
Yeah.
Right? Buy the ticket, take the ride, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I know it's probably rubs a lot of people the wrong way. It was very quick. Again, I think we're going to have to get used to the news flow is going to pick up here a bit. But it just speaks to what's happening on chain, where you have, in this case, I don't necessarily think that this was launched for the purpose of capital formation, but that's a use case of this technology. I think that's a use case of meme coins. And I believe that you're going to see not just celebrities, not just people like Donald Trump, but brands, and let's say sports teams. Obviously there's communities and there's projects that have tokens as well, or meme coins that have launched. I just think you're going to continue to see that. Let the market sort it out.
Right.
I
mean, a lot of celebrities have launched their tokens. And I think, and I don't speak for crypto at large, but from my experience, I think the sentiment in this industry, we're not impressed by celebrity all the time.
Right.
Kind of
right.
like, that's what we're trying to, stick it to the man, ape strong together. Like the little guy revolution is going to come up and have more of a voice. So when it comes to like, a celebrity's launching a token, it's like crypto wants to make money, so they'll ride it. But overall, it's like that's not the end all be all of like, this is what's going to make crypto big.
Exactly.
So I think, we'll see what happens. But I mean, as a degen, I will absolutely be playing the game, but my real investments, my long-term holds, are legitimate crypto projects that are building really cool stuff on chain.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that's the way that you've got to look at it. I suppose from my perspective, and maybe, obviously you've been building in this space for a long time as well, but in the more regulated areas, you think about brokerages, centralized exchanges, just the difficulty everybody's had with the SEC. Objectively speaking, and we've talked about this, but love him or hate him, the President of the United States launched a token on the Solana blockchain. Changes everything. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exciting. It, to me, signals that as a country, we're going to embrace this technology. We're going in a completely different direction than we were in before as it relates to this. Also, you're seeing the SEC and a complete 180 as well with the task force that's recently been established. I know you talked about that this morning as well. Any quick thoughts there?
I'm just so excited.
It's happening quickly.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that, I don't know Hester Pierce personally, but just from a quick scan of what she's done in life, I'm like, oh, cool, a reasonable person.
Yeah, she's pro-crypto, sensible.
Yeah, like, hey, we want rules, we want regulation. Tell us what we can and can't do, and then let's go do it. She's very pro-innovation, but also, like, pro-guidelines, too. Like, let's just set the boundaries and let's go.
Yeah, it's only January 22nd. We're only, 2 days in to this new term. But I'm excited in terms of, certainly what's happening in the crypto space, and the support of the U.S. government is, I think, is, certainly welcomed, put it in that, to put it that way. Shelley, really quickly before we wrap up, just want to take a quick look at where we are. A little bit of a bounce from probably this time last week when we sent out our email on the market update. But no real change when I look at volatility. The expected moves, while the ranges are higher, so a series of higher highs, higher lows, the magnitude of these moves that is being priced in terms of implied volatility is still about where it's been. Implied vols, and you can see realized vols here for Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin's realized vol on a 30-day basis, if you analyze that, is 46% implied in terms of what the market or the options market is pricing in. 62% hasn't really changed very much. When that does start to change, and certainly if you were to see it really move to the upside, I think you've got to pay attention to that signal. But for now, the Bitcoin expected move over the next week, and this could, it's going to change as the spot price and vol changes. But this snapshot at this moment in time is pricing in about a $9,000 range, 95 to the downside, 113 to the upside. That'd be a new all-time high. ETH, not a new all-time high there. That's lagged quite a bit for a variety of reasons here. I don't think it will forever, but still looking for a $300 move. Not anything that we haven't seen before. Solana, some real serious outperformance there. You're looking for a move almost up to 300 if this continues at these volatility levels, which I think is about 95% or so. 95% there in terms of the realized vol on a 30-day basis. So it's pretty bullish at the moment. That could all change instantly, as we know. But definitely looking a lot better than we were a week ago. We dipped down below 90 in Bitcoin and a lot better than we were looking kind of as we wrapped up the year heading into January. So it's been a good couple of weeks here, excuse me.
Yeah. Bringing it back to the beginning, what's your favorite snack or treat?
This is an extremely difficult question for me.
It was your question.
I love treats. Man, over the weekend, I almost crushed an entire thing of, have you had these Nerds clusters?
Oh my gosh.
And I saw something too that they're like made out of bugs.
They're like the worst for you. My degree is in nutrition science. You can't throw nerd clusters at me. I know too much.
They're so good.
They're horrible. They might be good. And you know, it's funny. I did notice, because I was perusing the aisles at Target during the lockdowns. Those were selling out all the time.
Not surprised.
Like, what's going on with
They're
those?
delicious.
They must be. Okay.
Yeah. The only thing that could make them better, like my critique, I don't know if the Nerds representatives are listening or not. It's like if you haven't had it, it's like this little gummy, but it's covered in Nerds. Okay, so you get this nice crunch and you get this little chewy action afterwards.
Game, yeah.
I just think if it was like a gusher, you know, and there was this like liquid sugar inside of it, that would be like another version that I would probably purchase. You know, it's like there's Sour Patch Kids, then there's the watermelon ones, or there's the tropical flavors. Give me the Nerds clusters with, man, this is getting weird, with the goo. I don't know. I don't know. We've run out of time. It's a good thing. Shelley, thank you for coming on the show. Everybody in the chat, thanks for showing up. Good to see you, and good to see that you're bringing everybody.
The fam is here.
To the
Thank
network,
you for being here.
Which is awesome. So shout out to Dr. Drip, Dav, Laura, Lone Sophos, everybody up in here. We got more content coming soon. We'll talk about that probably over the next week or so. Be on the lookout for the Tasty Crypto email. More in there. Trying to put out more emails. We're going to do more shows. We've got more live streams coming. So I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
And it's still pretty bullish for now, but we'll let you know when that changes too. That's going to do it for our show. We will be back. What is it? It's Wednesday. So we'll be back on Monday next week. Man, forever away. Until then, I'm Ryan.
I'm Shelley.
Peace.